I don't know if you saw, but everywhere was this ad promoting Ron DeSantis as this culture warrior fighting the LGBTQ agenda and calling out Trump for being more sympathetic to the agenda. My understanding is this is not a DeSantis ad, but his campaign war room retweeted it, and thus it's been hung around his neck. So far, it doesn't seem like Team DeSantis minds. Here is, we can play the whole thing. It's only a minute. Here is the ad, the bit that's causing all the controversy.
I will do everything in my power to protect our LGBTQ citizens.
If Caitlyn Jenner were to walk into Trump Tower and want to use the bathroom, you would be fine with her using any bathroom she chooses.
That is correct.
In the future, can transgender women compete in Miss Universe?
Yes.
Make America great again.
Psych!
Okay, so now for the listening audience, they're showing clips of DeSantis, comparing him to Christian Bale's American Psycho, looking like Tom Cruise in Top Gun, The Wolf of Wall Street, The Real Wolf is Here. I'll do you the favor of not playing you the whole song because it is impossible to get it out of your head after you've listened to it. Yeah. And now, Mark, we have even some on the right, like Rick Grinnell, who's a Trump guy, log cabin Republicans who are gay Republicans who have, sort of formed a group. And I think they're also pro-Trump. But they're calling this extremely and utterly homophobic. Team DeSantis doesn't seem to think so. What do you make of it?
Well, I think that Trump is vulnerable on this because when he's with an audience, he generally wants them to like them. So if you put him in front of a gay audience, he'll be saying things to them that are pro-gay. The Caitlyn Jenner line about he didn't care which bathroom Caitlyn Jenner used. I think that is he didn't foresee that was going to become the dominant issue, so that we're all going to be talking about transgender bathrooms when the Mullers nuke us. That's just the way our politics has become, because the left has decided it's in favor of abolishing biological sex, which is a huge thing. And it's actually bigger than whether you get a cut in capital gains tax or whatever. It is something that should be discussed politically. And the point for DeSantis is that he's had huge success with this in Florida. So he's perceived as someone who can be opportunist on woke issues, and it gets results for him. What I find interesting about DeSantis is the last time I checked the poll of polls at Real Clear Politics, he was averaging, I think, something like 21% in the poll of polls, which is
he's between 30 and 40 points behind Trump.
Yeah, which is incredible to me because he is all the other guys, Asa Hutchinson and Pence, these guys are jokes. They shouldn't be running. But DeSantis ought to be a credible character. And I can't, in that sense, it must be depressing to his guys that he's down there at 20%, as you say, 30 or 40 points behind Trump. What Trump had in 2015, when he came down that escalator and he started talking about Mexico not sending its best, is he was actually talking about, to people all, if you go 50 miles in any direction from where I am right now, well, not 50 miles north because you'll hit the Quebec border and things are rather better up there, but you'll see towns that are totally depressed. The mills have closed, the factories have closed. There's guys that you can't move out of there because you're underwater on your house because you bought your house for $300,000 and it's now worth $120,000. And your daughter does the night shift at the Quickie Crap, and your son runs a meth lab because, frankly, that's a lot more interesting as a career. And Trump spoke to all those diminished, demoralized, screwed communities, the forgotten man, as we would have said 90 years ago. And what's happening, he's best when he does that. And this other side of him, which is basically the metropolitan Manhattan liberal, who went to Hillary's wedding and all the rest of it. Yeah, he doesn't care about gays. He doesn't care about race. He doesn't care. I mean, he lives on Fifth Avenue. Do you think he's never met a homosexual? So obviously that's not a big deal to him. But
Rick Grinnell is a homosexual. Rick Grinnell is openly gay and was the first openly gay cabinet member.
Yeah, and actually, I think he used to open, in those days, Trump used to open his rallies with Elton, whom we were mentioning, singing Tiny Dancer. And I was trying to work out, because he had Andrew Lloyd Webber from Phantom of the Opera, and he had something else there. And I said, I've worked out what it is, I said to him backstage. I said, this is all music by tenants at Trump Tower. And he congratulated me. That's true. Andrew has the penthouse, and I think Steven Spielberg is on the floor below. And that's just how he is. He doesn't think about these things because he's in man. You can't walk down that street. You can't do business in that town without being relaxed about that stuff.
That's
and
right.
I think it's different for Ron. What Ron DeSantis needs to do, I think, I'm surprised he's just at 20%, but he hasn't sort of fused all the wokery into some kind of larger vision. You know, I'm concerned about the woke. I mean, basically, I'm concerned because Western civilization is sliding off a cliff, and we're all going to land in a big heap of rubble at the bottom. But if you're going to go there, you have to sort of connect. Oh, did you see this wacky woke thing that's in the paper today? It's not enough to do that. You've got to connect it to a larger vision of what the underlying thing is.
I feel like Trump hasn't really been asked about this. You know, at that pointless CNN town hall, she wanted to spend the entire time asking about the 2020 election and stuff that liberals want to hear. And there was nothing for the conservative audience that does have these concerns. It would have been interesting in newsmaking for her to see where he stands now on things like transgender bathrooms. Trump hasn't really had that put to him. I haven't asked for Trump, and I've been asking for DeSantis because I've never talked to DeSantis, but I have talked to Trump. But I'm going to ask for Trump. I'm going to ask for Trump too, because I'd love to go over some of this stuff with him and see whether his position has evolved, as my own has. In 2015, if you were going to listen to me talk about bathrooms, you would have heard very different messaging than today for the very reasons you just outlined, Mark.
Yeah, no, I agree. My view on it has also changed, mainly because the only people I ever knew who were transsexuals, as we said back then, were in showbiz, and it seemed like it seemed to go with the kind of heightened reality of show business. And so I thought of it like that. Now, when I see sad middle school girls transitioning into boys and having their breasts amputated and putting up pictures of them with their scars on the internet, I think we're witnessing some vast human tragedy here. I don't care about Caitlyn Jenner. Caitlyn Jenner's rich enough to survive whatever is going on. But these poor middle school girls across America are not.
In a somewhat startling description, the UN food chief warned the world with the words, knocking on famine's door. What? He called what we're facing a perfect storm of a perfect storm. And he's not alone in that view. A Barron's report says a food shortage could be coming even in the U.S. Farmers see it too. John Boyd Jr. is a fourth-generation farmer. He recently said we're going to see empty food shelves in the coming months. That's why getting survival food is more important than ever. Create your own stockpile of the best-selling 4 Patriots survival food kits. It's not ordinary food. We're talking good for 25 years, super survival food. Hand-packed in a family-owned facility in the USA and giving jobs to over 200 Americans. They have different delicious breakfasts, lunches, dinners, and you can make these meals in just less than 20 minutes. You just add boiling water, simmer, and then you serve. And right now, for the next few days, viewers will get 10% off their first order by visiting 4, the numeral 4, patriots.com, and you use code MK to get the discount. Go to 4patriots.com. Use the code MK to start your own stockpile today. Hey, thanks so much for watching. If you like what you just saw, hit the subscribe button for more clips and full episodes.